90 Day Fiance Season 8, Episode 10, coming up on the Fraudcast.
You are now tuned into the Fraudcast.
So, can we talk about what assholes Jovi's parents are?
Yeah.
Like, that was my big takeaway from this episode.
That whole scene. I think that was a big thing for everyone because one, Yara handled that really well.
She did.
Staying calm and
clapping back at them.
Yeah, just calling out the bullshit that was being spewed by both of them. I guess we could walk through. I'm not even sure, like, of course, we never understand what really sparks the conversation, right? It's
right,
like,
because they don't show it all.
Right. How do you like America? Oh, it's okay. She goes, well, you know, because we're kind of sus because all Ukrainians women, right, want to come to America. That's their fucking dream, right? She's like, well, no. And they're like, excuse us? Like,
yeah, she's like, no.
You're completely like shifting our paradigms. I don't know how to understand this. And fucking Jovi's just sitting there drinking and grinning like an idiot.
So they pulled the parents pulled the typical, Ukrainian women are just here looking for a green card, like all of them are, right? It's like the standard trope. And then Yara just like shoots back at him. Nope. And I'd rather live in what country was she saying?
Budapest, actually.
Because it's close to her family, you know.
And they were like flipped out. How dare you want to be close to your mom?
I know, right?
Like
that's the biggest thing that I saw. So I did a screen cap of one of the portions of these conversations on my Instagram, and a lot of the comments were about, well, you know, what about her being far away from, her family? Like, why are you being such assholes about it? Like, she is far away from her family, and they don't know this, that she's gonna have a baby, but like,
right.
Don't her parents get any respect? And they're already disrespecting her and everything about her when they are like, no, we're gonna have a small party, but then she's like secretly,
she's like, it's actually gonna be this huge party. They found some real winning moms this season.
They did. and I think we didn't see it from Jovi's parents because we were too bothered by Brandon's parents. Like, that's all we were seeing. We didn't get any Brandon and Julia this week, so it was all like the assholeness of Jovi's parents. So I mean, like, how many ways are they assholes? Like, there's so many different things. There was like him, the father, saying something about the way she looked, the way she dressed, and
basically saying that her like Facebook pics he's basically saying you dress like a slut, and you're gonna get treated attacked like in the back streets of this thing because, and she's looking at him like, it's not my problem if you can't control yourself around me,
right? So that was like strike one, right? And then you don't want to live in America. The first, it's like, oh, we're gonna bitch at you because you want to come live in America, like all Ukrainian women, stereotype. And then when she says no, then they're gonna bitch because she's wanting to move them away. And she didn't say she was gonna move them away, but she was saying someplace like that would have been better, would have been fine.
Just if she had it her way, the idea wouldn't, like, she doesn't have this burning desire to reside in the States. If she had her pick, she would be close to her family.
Right.
But that's just adding perspective that she's not there for the green card to be in America because there's other beautiful places she could be living in her opinion.
Right. So, so now we have that. And then, she says, so she stays behind while they go to this party or whatever. And I gotta say something about this a little bit, because she says, she's tired because, she's in her first trimester and she's exhausted. She wants to nap. But then I think she says something later, like they all left her. So I'm not sure what we're not seeing, because she was complaining about that too. And you said you wanted to stay back because you were tired. Anyway.
Maybe she wanted to rest a little bit. And maybe she asked them to wake her up before they left or something.
Yeah, there's obviously something we're not seeing because she had both issues, right?
Yeah, I still would have woke her up and said, "Are you sure you don't want to go?" Where,
Yeah.
She looked tired, unfortunately, and I don't say that with disrespect, but she's being put through the ringer by his parents, and she looks like she's in her first fucking trimester of being pregnant,
Yeah, yeah. So then when they're in the car, they're like, "Did we lock everything up?" As if she's gonna steal their shit. Like,
I know how terrible. I know that part rubbed me the wrong way too.
So poor, such poor taste. And they're laughing about it like, "Oh, it's hilarious," and Jovi's just sitting there with his beer or whatever the hell he's drinking.
His dumb grin. Everybody knows if they watch it, they know the dumb grin. And he's just sitting there like
that mouthful of his.
Oh my God.
It was terrible. Oh my God. There's everything, like, they're just everything that's wrong with dumb Americans, right? Like, everybody wants to come get a green card. It reminded me, I don't remember what season it was, but it was Evelyn of the Jesus Family Band and her boyfriend from Spain, David. They allegedly were virgins before they got married. Do you remember? She lived in wherever she lived in the Northeast and had the best apples. Do you remember her?
Vaguely.
She was
and maybe I don't know if you're just picking the weird parts about it. Like, what are you talking about?
The girl with the Jesus band and the apples.
Oh,
she was on American Idol later.
About. I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Well, okay. So she was. What I remember there was she was having breakfast with David, and she was being, ignorant American. Well, of course she wanted to be here. So I don't remember the context of the conversation, but it was something that had to do with, well, everybody has the American dream, right? And he was like, no. like not everybody wants. I mean, he's coming from Spain. Spain's a fantastic country. What, you're not like trying to escape Spain to come to America in this little teeny tiny small town,
right?
With, the world's best
think
apples.
It's okay to have pride in your country. We should.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like the view of this is the only place that somebody would want to live could be wrong. It's just how, when I was younger, had this fantastic idea that I'd go live in Japan. Right. Mm-hmm. It wasn't because I hated my country. It's just, you find another place. Yeah. You're like, wow, that's beautiful. And then some people that move to Spain because they want to live in Spain. So, I mean, I just feel like it's really closed-minded for them to think that, America's the only place that even their son would want to live, but then stupid Jovi's like, oh, I don't want to live in Europe.
I mean, it was great to visit, but
there's no alligators there now. I have a comment. No, okay. I have a comment. I posted like a pic. It wasn't even him that was the main focus. And someone says, oh my God, Jovi bites alligators. I'm like,
what?
Can someone translate? I just want to know what they mean.
What does that mean? Wait, I gotta see this.
No, so if you're someone who knows what that means, then please help me, because I Googled it, and I don't Google bite alligator, please, because you're gonna get
God,
well, eating alligator, of course. But
I mean, I've had alligator before. I think
I have too, and it's not terrible. I just
when I lived in Florida,
I just need a translation because it was
what does that mean?
Some reason it caught me as fucking hilarious, and I'm like, oh my God,
Jovi eat alligator.
I'm like, please,
bites alligators.
Bites alligators. I'm like rough, like he's like rough and tough. Because if I bit an alligator, I have to have a strong ass bite.
Yeah, he doesn't strike me as rough and tough. Like, and I mean, I did a quick background check on him. I don't really generally do background checks on cast members because I don't really care that much. They don't show marriages and divorces, which are the only things I care about. and his showed like he had a couple of arrests in his history. Shock, they were for alcohol related offenses, minor things apparently, I don't remember, but yeah, no fighting. I suspect like when he's even in like in his like drunk, like he's not like the bar fight type.
I take him for like, yeah, getting in trouble for like, I don't know, frat type activities.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I got to run in because I was doing something stupid and I was drunk. Right. But I mean, like, that's not anything major.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't see him wrestling gators, honestly. You know, like, yeah, no. Leave that
Biting.
to the
Biting.
So if you made that comment or if you know what that means, if it's actually like a term, like a thing, please.
Hopefully I'm not being offensive. I saw it and I just died laughing, and then I stopped and I was like, why the fuck is that funny? And so, you know, I usually laugh at stupid stuff anyways. But anyways,
well, we do laugh at that
all the time.
Stuff.
All the time.
What was the other thing I wanted to talk about with this episode? There's was it Mike and Natalie going to therapy?
Yeah, maybe.
And him wearing that goddamn Bluetooth thing in his ear, like
that was the alien transmitter.
That's what
that connected to the fucking mothership. Okay,
like why is he wearing a Bluetooth earpiece?
I didn't know people did that anymore.
I know.
I didn't know people did that anymore, and then I'm like, does he take that thing out, or is it like, you know how people used to wear tinfoil hats to keep the
Jesus
to keep the waves from coming in? Is that like his anti?
I like the alien transmitter device theory myself.
Is he getting the correct answers? They're like, you have to do this, Mike. He's like, I understand.
Are they feeding him lines of what he's supposed to say during therapy? So he can like, I don't understand, because I mean, I was glad to see them in therapy because I keep saying they need a third party to translate for their communication issues. And that seemed to have happened with this, but I couldn't get over the goddamn Bluetooth device. Every time they show him, he's got it in his ear. And like, okay, so he has a long drive to work or whatever, so he needs to be able to talk on the phone while he's driving. Yeah,
he definitely need to be hands-free, and it's probably just more convenient to keep it in his ear. My logical look at it is he's in management and he's gonna get a call for some whatever reason, and he has to be there. But like, in therapy, I don't want to be logical right now, and I almost think that maybe the producers was on the phone, kind of telling hhim what to do and say.
Oh,
because there's no recording. Yeah, like Natalie didn't want anybody in there, so the producer's like, "Well, I'll just call you. I'll just be in your ear. I'll let you know what to say.
Tell you what to say.
I'll just tell you what to say." I'm like, 1 and 2, you guys are halfway through they're halfway through their fucking 90 days, and they're not even trying to plan for the fucking wedding.
Not even doing anything. Yeah.
Oh my god. She's like, "I don't have a dress." I'm like, "Did you come to America with anything?"
Like, yeah, I don't.
She has gorgeous dresses. Like, one of those would work. No, she wants a new one, I'm sure. But I'm just kind of
she wants to like plan a wedding or whatever.
He's like, "I don't have a suit," and she's like, she kind of looked at him like, that says very little. I can't wait to see what their wedding looks like, though. I'm hoping.
Okay, so
it's outside.
I hope he's wearing his Bluetooth earpiece during the wedding.
His Bluetooth with lots of trees she can kiss. You may kiss the tree.
She posted a picture on Instagram recently where she's in the kitchen and she's about to make something without butter, I'm sure. The devil that is butter. Oh, and because she spread. Satan spread. That's it. And the kitchen was very obviously not the kitchen of the dwelling in which they're filming. So I'm wondering if they moved. Like, where's this kitchen? It's a home kitchen.
Or they redid the kitchen.
It doesn't appear to be. I mean, I guess they could have redone it. I mean, it would be a complete kitchen redo, the picture. is show. I mean, it's a completely different. It has this island and all this stuff in it. I don't know if it would.
Would it be $20,000 worth of a redo? Like about the money that they receive for the show filming?
It would have to be. I mean, it'd probably be cheaper to just move.
No, that's his daddy's property, isn't it?
That's true. I mean, yeah, it is family property.
I wouldn't move from family property. I'd redo it.
And well, maybe Bo can go back in there. I don't know, but it was a beautiful looking kitchen. Not quite as beautiful as yours. I love your kitchen, but
you love my kitchen.
I do love.
Mine's is a different kitchen. Like when we first picked it out, and we got black cabinets, we literally sat in the showroom for a while going,
is this a good idea?
I really want black cabinets.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And like the color of the counters with the appliances and all, y'all. We need Hanakawa to post pictures of her kitchen because it is really fantastic. Also, can I just take this moment to address, we got another review that says, do these girls even like each other?
We don't. This is all a fucking farce. I hate Katrina so much that I decided to stay and do this podcast.
What fucking episodes are they listening to? Are they listening to the very first episode that I did with Talker? And is that what they're
I mean, some episodes can be awkward, and I think that sometimes the chemistry also depends on the mood.
Yeah.
And I have, not to be, oh my God, my job is so hard. I have an extremely
your job is demanding,
mentally taxing and hard job. And so this is like my unwind time. And sometimes my brain just goes away.
Well, and you and I both have medical issues in our brains, right? So sometimes we're fighting headaches and things like that. And
we call the brain fuzz the brain fuzz podcast.
Right.
But yeah, no, sometimes I get it. The energy can be a little different, but I have never listened and was like, wow, it sounds like I hate her guts.
Yeah. And I assure you guys, we are friends. I probably talked to her just as much, if not more, than I talked to Hetero Life Mate. Well, no, that's not true. Now that we're maybe, I don't know. I talk to you a lot. Bit.
Yeah, there's messages exchanged on the daily. So
yes, and not just about are we going to record tonight? What time? So yes, just to set the record straight, we do like each other, and you are a person of color. Just to make sure everybody gets that.
Oh my God. That needs work. Hold on. Context behind that was, I don't even want to go too deep into it.
Oh, but it's hilarious.
But I think someone had pointed out that I sounded like I don't even.
It was something about how are these two white women talking about whatever it was we were talking about, which remember.
Which has folds and folds of issues in itself that would take a whole nother type of podcast for me to dissect why that triggered me so much. But it's just kind of you can't hear diversity in people's voices, so don't assume that what you hear is what is, just because someone doesn't sound like what you would stereotypically think a woman of color would sound like, you can't automatically say that's not it. That's all I want to go into it.
That's our PSA for the day.
That's our PSA. Getting off my fucking soapbox.
Celebrate that's our nod to Black History Month.
Oh my God, don't say that.
Okay,
moving on. Past the butter haters, we should go to, is Andrew still in fucking Mexico?
No, he comes back to California in this episode. Now, this is a story we want to talk about because of what you've found on Visa Journey. So for people who don't know what Visa Journey is, it's a website, right? They have forums on there. There's people. We found a lot of stuff. That's how we found Ben initially.
Is that how you did it? I knew nothing about
we found him on there. Somebody found him on there and sent the information to me, and then I went and dove in, and then when I posted it, he ended up going back in and changing the names to B and A versus their full names. But he'd use their full names. And for those who don't know, Ben and Akini is Hanakawa's ex-husband.
Oh, I'm dying.
So there's so much context. Anyway,
All right. So I actually want to take a moment to talk about New Year's resolutions because you know my feeling on New Year's resolutions. They're kind of cheesy. We don't really stick to them. By February, the gyms are all empty again. But I have been open to making smaller, impactful changes that I think are just important.
I know we joke about husbands buying their wives' workout equipment for Christmas, but my fiance got me a spinning bike for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. I'm totally obsessed. So another thing that you and I have talked about in the same regard is that is increasing and optimizing our vitamin intake.
Right, because I've been taking the same prenatals that I have been for the past 5 years. So I'm thinking I should probably start adding like a daily vitamin, maybe something to support my energy, sleep, and something to help me with my fitness goals. And this isn't even, something just short term. I think in the long term as well.
Well, that's what's really great about this company called Care Of. They are a personalized vitamin company, and they offer you this really in-depth but short. It's like a 5-minute online quiz. Ask you questions about your diet, your lifestyle, any health concerns you have to help address your specific like wellness goals. And it'll package them all together in a cute little package with your name on it. And one of the things that I really like about it too is that they're very transparent about their research and sourcing behind the ingredients in their products. So it's all nice and clean, and you're not taking like weird stuff from God knows where.
Right. And so I took the quiz, which I did find to be pleasant, saying that I don't like quizzes either. And the vitamins they recommended for me was iron, which was in a higher dose that I usually take, rhodiola, superberry, collagen, and a vitamin B12 like energy powder stick that they call extra batteries, which honestly, sometimes that's exactly what I feel like I need. But it's really awesome too, because I think, they make sure you put your name there so that they can put your name on the bag. Like they really customize it and they make it feel like, this it was specifically made for you.
Yeah, and it definitely recommended some for me that I hadn't considered in my vitamin regimen before, but that I think would definitely be beneficial to my overall wellness. So I'm excited about this whole company. And they are offering a special for Fraudcast listeners. For 50% off your first order of Care Of, go to takecareof.com and enter code Fraudcast50. That's takecareof.com. That is spelled takecareof.com and enter code Fraudcast50 for 50% off your first order. That's a great deal.
Yeah, I think 50%. I mean, and, I think it's definitely worth any of our, listeners to try. I think it's always good to add a little extra vitamins in your life.
Definitely. And we'll have that linked in the show notes for you as well. So there's this website called Visa Journey, and there's forums on there, and people talk about all these things. That is allegedly where Andrew got this brilliant idea to go through Mexico. And she has been on there as well. So tell us what it's like. It's not Reddit. It's not Facebook. It's not like he pulled it out of his asshole. Although, I mean, he could very well. I don't know. But this Visa Journey stuff that you've seen, originally posted on Reddit, I understand.
Right.
That of her posts, which are her posts.
Right. So the subreddit, someone found her forum posts and questions that she put on the Visa Journey, which, is a forum for people who are going through the visa process. And like, long story short, what it shows is that, and here's the spoilers because people like to hear. Yes. Leave now if you don't want to know.
Spoilers.
Okay, so her plan and what she does is there's the big question of her going to Belgrade to then try and get to America that way, right?
Mm-hmm. Serbia. So for those who don't know, Serbia. Belgrade is the capital of Serbia.
So she goes to. It looks like she said she flew from Germany, so she's going from France to Germany to Belgrade, which is Serbia, and then going to JFK. This happened in July of 2020. And most of her questions were just kind of like, has anyone done that? And she is actually, her main focus of her posts is wondering if things don't go well with her fiance, Andrew, and she needs to go back to France. Will she be allowed into France? Mm-hmm. Which I was trying to think of the question of why she wouldn't be allowed to just go back to France. Maybe France didn't know she was trying to get to America. I don't know. You know, like maybe I think she was really worried that people would catch the loophole that they were trying to go through.
Right.
But I found it interesting that her post was centered on if it doesn't work out. So it makes me wonder what truly the relationship status
I
was
know
at the
it.
time.
I know what the relationship status is as of this moment. I'm just not allowed to share that.
Oh, that is not fair, Katrina. It's not even fair for you to tease.
Okay.
But like I'm saying, it does make me wonder where they were if that was one of her things. But I guess the main spoiler is that she's going to get to the US. Yeah.
She's attempting this grand plan again. She's just going to go through Serbia this time instead of Mexico. But her posts on there don't show that she actually made it. Like,
no, it doesn't. The last one that she puts is just basically about her having her flight booked to JFK. And she claims that she's going to leave for JFK in the morning. And the trail kind of goes dry there.
Okay. So last we know, she's in Serbia. And we know that she's currently in France. So
yeah, there's more there's more to know. So she at least is gonna get to Serbia. And it makes me wonder, maybe something happens where like Andrew says the one thing, I'm going back. Fuck it, you know?
Right.
It's very interesting.
You know, but that begs the question though, you know, is at this moment in time in the relationship that they're showing, like she is still wanting to be with him. Even could, you know, she, you know, even though all these people are telling her, no, you should, you know, like her dad and her friend and all this stuff, she is still trying to, she's deep in it still. If she's willing to do this, she's still deep in his spell, whatever it may be, that he's got over her. So, yeah. And I think that's all we have on her, right? So that's what we know. Spoiler over.
Yeah, that's it. Spoiler, kind of spoiler. Like I said, weaving through comments on a forum is very confusing.
Yeah.
You know, you have to sit on a long time and like really look and go, okay, is this person actually responding to this one? That was this one that was responding to this. You know, so I had to read it a few times to make sure it was actually her responding, saying she was the one going. So, yeah, that's just a little fun bit. There's still a lot up in the air. You don't really know where it's going to end up, but I'm hoping she just stays in France and kind of, you know, comes to her senses.
Well, I mean, she obviously makes it back because we know she's in France now. She's been posting from France. So obviously she was able to get back in the country. But what happens between get her going from, you know, Belgrade to back to France, like what happens? I'm interested to see what happens. Like, even though I know what the outcome is, I want to see how they get there. So that's where we're at with them. And then there wasn't anything worth talking about with Stephanie and Ryan and
nobody else.
No, that's it.
Nobody else was worth talking about.
That's it.
As far as like gossipy stuff goes, I mean,
right. I mean,
a lot of interesting stuff happened, but I mean, you all saw the episode. It was quite lovely.
Yeah. And as far as like what's going on, I know people are talking about, I haven't seen it yet, but the 90 Day Fiance Love Games has premiered on Discovery Plus. I have not watched it yet. I caught the end of one of the episodes because it was on right before I was putting on, I think, like the second.
Yeah, I saw random bits of it. I'm really not interested.
Yeah, I'm not. If any of you guys are watching it, you know, I don't know, let us know. I haven't been.
You let us know how it is. You watch it so we don't have to.
Yeah.
Because I draw a line at that one. I watched probably a few minutes of it and I was like, no, never mind.
I can't. And then The Single Life premieres next week. Now, I've seen a lot of mixed reviews from people. Like, I personally said this, and you guys have heard it, is I'm really excited for it. Danielle is on it. People are like, oh God, I don't need to see Danielle. I don't know, like but there's a ton of people who really are OG fans, and it's there's no it's no secret that I love Danielle and I think she's a queen. I got to interview her probably about a year ago on the show, and I just love her. I love her to death. I've been a fan of the show since day one, and her season is unquestionably the best season. And when she throws the evidence binder at Muhammad and all of her great lines, and so I'm excited to see what happens. I know I've been given a lot of information about what happens, sort of quote unquote story arc. So I'm really excited to see how it plays out. But there are some people who aren't thrilled about seeing her again. I definitely don't care about seeing Big Ed date. I'm interested in seeing Brittany in her natural element rather than, and I think we mentioned this last week, right? Like rather than trying to fit into this engaged married thing that she was doing with Yazan.
Right. I mean, the whole change or dynamic of the show is going to be interesting because we're not watching an already established couple. We're watching them date, which is already interesting for itself.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with a lot of people that I would have preferred if they debuted a lot of this stuff on the actual network channel.
Yeah.
And not, I mean, I get they probably don't have enough space and they probably need like, instead of TLC, they would need like the 90-day channel.
Yeah.
I get they were probably running out of room, but I'm like, a lot of this stuff would really
play
do well if they just put it on regular TV and didn't put it behind a paywall. But, that's a back and forth argument. It just kind of, that's the only thing kind of like it icks me. It's like something this different should be more accessible for folks. So
I agree. I think the Love Games one is perfectly fine on Bears or on whatever on Discovery Plus, but the Single Life I feel like should be accessible. I agree.
The Love Games reminds me of like what they were doing with all the Skype callers from the tell-all when they weren't actually in the main seat. Like, while we're waiting for you guys to do your segment of tell-all, we'll play this love game.
Oh.
It's like a fucking 90-day icebreaker. Like, what the fuck is this? I can't.
Funny. So when I'm definitely going to be watching. We'll probably be covering it. I'm not sure if we'll cover it here or over on our Patreon. But I guess we'll find out. We'll see. We're not really planning that far in advance, We'll just sit down in front of a microphone and see what falls out of our face. And I think that's it. That's all we got for this week, right? Is there anything else that happened in Instagram land? I don't think so.
No, not really.
No.
Instagram land is getting a little boring. I'm there for the memes and that's it.
Yeah.
Not so much drama with this cast.
Yeah, there's not social media drama the way there have been in the
past.
Which
is just fine with me.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Oh, there was a picture sighting of Jovi, Yara, and the baby in Miami.
Oh yeah, that did pop up. It was on Reddit.
Yeah.
And then I think I forgot which Instagram page it was. It's all over.
I know. It's all over now.
It's all over now, but I think it originated off Reddit.
Yeah.
It was Jovi, Yara, and they were tending to their little girl. So someone got a picture of them. Someone cited them. So we know that they definitely are still together.
I copied it from 90 Day Bipolar is where I got it.
Bipolar, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
She has it on there. So that was kind of cool. I was like, wow.
Right.
I mean, we kind of had hinted that it was happening, but no one had the photo that everybody needs to jump on and believe it.
Right, exactly. Nobody had the picture yet. And they had the baby in September is what we believe, what we understand. So, anyway, so that's it. If you, there's going to be, over on the Patreon this week, we're talking about 90 Day Fiance Bears All, and we're talking about the leaked OnlyFans pictures of 90 Day Fiance. That's on our Patreon. That is patreon.com/thefraudcast. It is also linked down below if you want to join us over there and listen to us talk about what happens on Bears All and this massive leak of pictures of OnlyFans. And all I have to say on that right now is some of y'all need Jesus. Okay, and moving on. That's all we got. Thanks for tuning in today. We are the Fraudcast, and we're dumpster diving, so you don't have to.